Small community of townhouses. Right now on Denver 7 News at 8 o'clock on Local 3, the countdown to the midterms is on.
We're breaking down the main races from last night's primary election.
And inflation is having a major impact on Colorado companies. We'll break down a new forecast from CU.
And how the Avs win on the ice is turning into a big boost for downtown businesses.
Thursday is the cherry on top. We get to show off downtown. It's a beautiful place.
Starting off this hour of news with a live look at the Mile High City. We're a little more than 24 hours from the Parade of Champions for the Avs. And it's going to be a day for the record books tomorrow, hopefully here in Denver. I am excited. You can really feel the excitement out there in the air. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Jason Grenauer.
And I'm Jessica Crawford. A warm day out there today, but we are in for a bit of a cool down for Parade Day, Lisa.
It'll be a little cooler tomorrow, about 10 degrees below where we're going to be today. Hot though right now. And take a look at our chance for some thunderstorms, mainly across parts of northwestern Colorado, where we could see a marginal risk actually for a little severe weather. We'll be tracking those storms through the day. There's a slight chance we'll see a few roll east. Right now, though, looking at some pretty warm weather. It looks like low to mid 90s for highs this afternoon. As far as temperatures go here this next couple of days, things will cool down a bit. We're going to see low to mid 90s though from Denver, northeast, some near triple digit heat for northeastern Colorado, and that chance for a few storms late day today through early evening. Most of what we're going to see will be spotty in the mountains and across the eastern plains, but a better chance of afternoon storms tomorrow. I'll have your full Parade Day forecast coming up.
It's just going to hose down everything that's going to be left over there in downtown Denver. It's going to be just a cleaning rain, I guess. So right now we have a big delay on westbound 6th Avenue, trying to get past a rollover crash right here in Wadsworth. 3 cars involved. One of them's on its side, and you can see from the camera back here at Sheridan how badly traffic is backed up all the way in there. Colfax is a much better option for you. Even Alameda gets you over there, and it'll avoid these delays. As you can see, the drive time is now at 30 minutes on that westbound side, when usually it's only about 10. Take a look at the camera over here, over by I-70 and Airport. You can see the crash is way over here to the side, so all lanes are open. Still drawing some looks for us coming in from Tower Road, so a couple extra minutes there. But the rest of the drive just runs heavy in the usual spots: 270, I-76, I-25, and that in and out of the Denver Tech Center drive on I-25.
The battle lines for November officially drawn, and Colorado's incumbent members of Congress came out on top this primary election.
All 4 reps, Diana DeGette, Lauren Boebert, Ken Buck, and Doug Lamborn, all easily won their races. Here's a look at some of the other results. Unopposed Democratic Senator Michael Bennet will face Republican Joe O'Dea in November. In his victory speech, he called out the Democratic Colorado Super PAC, which had been running ads propping up his opponent, Ron Hanks, an election denier and someone who is much more conservative.
I got to tell you, this multi-million-dollar campaign by Democrats in the Republican primary is everything that American people hate about politics. It's pure cynicism, it's deceit.
O'Dea promised to be a Republican Joe Manchin, referring to the Democratic senator from West Virginia who has blocked many of his own party's policies.
Republican Heidi Ganahl beat Greg Lopez and will take on Democratic incumbent Governor Jared Polis. Without getting too specific in her attacks, Ganahl says she's ready for November.
And our kids are not okay right now in Colorado thanks to Jared Polis and Democrats. It is time for all of us to step together, to come together, to join together, to win back our state. Put aside the divisiveness. Put aside our differences. We have one goal now, and that is to beat Jared Polis this fall.
Ganahl has a long road ahead. She has $48,000 left over from this election. Governor Polis has built a $4.7 million war chest for November. Pam Anderson will run against Democratic incumbent Jena Griswold this November for Colorado Secretary of State. Anderson is a former Jefferson County clerk and past head of the State Clerks Association. She beat out Mike O'Donnell and embattled County Clerk Tina Peters. If you want to see the complete results of Colorado's primary, you can just head on over to thedenverchannel.com.
Well, new this morning, we are getting a new look at just how much inflation is impacting us here in Colorado. Denver 7's Veronica Acosta joins us live. And Veronica, you combed through this new report from CU Boulder.
I did. Like you mentioned, this report comes from CU Boulder. It's called the Leeds Business Confidence Index, and it gives us better insight into what Colorado business leaders are expecting for things like the national economy. So there are 6 different categories that this report is looking at. We're talking about things like state economy, national economy, as well as industry sales, industry profits, hiring, and capital expenditures as well. Now, in all 6 of those categories, business leaders said they had a bad outlook. This is as we head into Q3 of 2022. They said national economy looked the worst, but the good news is that industry hiring looked the best. Now, there were also some top concerns from those who took part in this, the biggest being inflation. We talk about that a lot these days. In our state, Colorado, business leaders project our inflation to increase nearly 8% this year, and then the good news is slow to about 3% next year. Now, when it comes to the impact, more than 70% of those who took part in the report said their businesses had either moderate or significant impacts because of inflation. More than half said they actually plan on increasing wages for their employees because of that higher inflation again. The report also said that although personal income in Colorado has increased year over year, it's only been a very slight increase. And the word recession, we have heard that a lot recently. It's also in this report. Now, 23% of those who took part say they believe we're already in a recession. More than 50 say they expect it to happen within the next year. In Denver, I'm Veronica Acosta, Denver 7.
Inflation hitting Coloradans hard. Thank you, Veronica. Americans are more pessimistic also about the future than they've been in almost a decade. The Conference Board says its consumer confidence index slipped to 98.7 in June. That's down 5 points since May and the lowest point in nearly a decade.
The Biden administration is selling public land this week for new oil and gas drilling in Colorado, as well as several other western states. The Interior Department reduced the amount of land for sale earlier this year and announced higher fees for oil companies, which wanted more land to be made available and fewer restrictions on drilling. The national average price for gas is dropping, but Colorado's average is still just standing still. Right now, the average price at the pump in our state is $4.90. That's 3 cents more than the national average. But high gas prices are not something you want to see if you're planning to hit the road this 4th of July weekend. And Denver 7's Colette Bordelon joins us now with when traffic's expected to be the worst. Colette.
Nothing can really stop Coloradans from getting outside this long holiday weekend in the summer. And if you ask AAA, it's actually going to be the second busiest travel period for the 4th of July weekend since the year 2000. The only year that beat it is 2019. Like you said, most Coloradans, they're choosing to actually get out there and drive despite those high gas prices we're seeing. More than 780,000 Coloradans will be traveling in some way, with road trips leading that charge, even when the average price of gas in Colorado is just under $5 a gallon. That's 45% more expensive than gas was a year ago in Colorado. But choosing to drive does give people a certain flexibility they can use to try and save a little bit of money.
Folks, though, are hitting the roads in record numbers. They do see their cars as a cost control mechanism. And by that, I mean they can decide where they go. They can decide where they pull in to stop. They can decide which restaurants they're going to go to. And as a function of that, even though gas is more expensive, it does allow Coloradans and Americans who are traveling to decide how they save.
If you are driving tomorrow afternoon and Friday afternoon, those are going to be the busiest times. That's because you're going to have to deal with all the people who are normally on the roads at those times, people coming home from work and such, along with all the people who are also out and about traveling. Now, even though driving has hit a record high for this 4th of July weekend, flying is actually down 10% since 2019. Now, that could be because people don't have to deal with delays or cancellations when they fly. Live in Denver, Colette Bordelon, Denver 7.
The Avs playoff run, the Stanley Cup win, and now tomorrow's parade. All great moments in Colorado sports history, and all have downtown Denver bars and restaurants pretty happy. Now they expect another big boost in business during tomorrow's championship celebration. The Downtown Denver Partnership says Game 5 last Friday alone brought nearly 280,000 people downtown, giving businesses quite a little boost.
Having people around is really the antidote to any issues that we've seen. So want people to come back, know that it's safe downtown, and really make sure that you're helping to support our businesses who need it more than ever.
Can we top 280,000 people for the parade tomorrow? We shall see, but the Downtown Partnership says it hopes the parade will remind fans about what they love about downtown.
Denver sports collide tonight at Coors Field. The Rockies are welcoming the Avs and the Stanley Cup tonight before the Dodgers game. The Avs will throw out the first pitch and lift the cup again on the field. The ceremony starts at 6:20. And if you want to avoid the crowds during tomorrow's Parade of Champions, we're teaming up with Altitude Sports to give you unrivaled access to the parade. Tune in to Denver 7 tomorrow morning starting at 4:30 for pre-parade coverage. Up next, the new numbers revealing the real impact the pandemic is having on teens' mental health in our state.